Hello, it's Marie from Skeletorama again. Welcome back to my channel. Give it a house shift. How's everybody? Doing all right. So we are at part 3 of the epic mini series, putting together the retro stove kit from Bentley House Minis, which is fantastic. So as per always, I will put a link to her site so you can get your own kit if you want to, and her channel, and her kit channel where it has all the tutorials for how to put all the kits together as well. And again, just like the other ones, there's some fast forwarding, not as much. I think the last part had the most out of all of them, but there's some fast forwarding, so you can see as much of the process as possible, as painless as possible, because that's what always drove me nuts when doing videos and trying to learn new stuff is people assume, oh, I don't want to leave that in, only beginners need that. Yeah, guess who needs your videos, dudes, seriously. So anyways, for those of you who are very adept at doing this, that's why I'm putting the chapters in there. So thanks again to the commenter who mentioned that. And obviously I knew about chapters, but it's like, oh yeah, you guys really do want those. That'd be a great idea. So I'm adding those in. But yeah, so hope you enjoy part 3. All right. So I think to avoid having too much bulk on these, I want the burners to be black, but I do want these to be silver. And so silver, just like on the stove top here, it's going to pop a lot better if it is on black. So we're going to go ahead and paint these black with the sparks, because it does cover real good, and maybe do a second coat, who knows, but I'll do one coat of the black on here and then one coat of the silver, because the gesso, I tend to get it kind of, it gets lumpy between them just because it's really thick. This isn't quite as thick, so let's do that. And that'll give us an idea too, if we want to maybe do that to this top. We'll see if it makes it look more shiny, like stainless steel would. There is our first coat, and we're going to let this dry. And I probably should have mentioned I have this on double-sided, not double-sided, painter's tape. So I've got this sticky side up, and then I'm holding it down with this here. So as I'm doing these, I'm trying not to let a lot of stuff build up in those corners, just because it'll end up sticking to this and building up in those corners. Kind of unavoidable, but usually it'll kind of stick to the tape. But try to get those kind of as clear as you can. And so we'll let this dry. We'll do one more coat of the black on here, but I'm going to do a coat of the silver on here, I think. So back in a minute. So once these were dry enough where I could, pick it up without smudging the paint, I went ahead and took it off of the previous one, because there's, so much paint built up in the middle. I didn't want that to have an effect on it. So I have a new piece of painter's tape taped down. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these in the silver first. And this is Silver Spoon is the name of this color. And then we'll do these one more coat in the Raven Black. With these, I think I'm going to give them just one more coat. This stuff actually dries really quick, so it's not dry, but it's dry enough where I can pop a second coat, I think, on there without making it weird, So we will do the same. We'll let these dry. I'm going to swap out the tape. We'll flip it over and we'll do the other side. This we'll have to do the other side, just like we did this side. This not so much, because it's going to be glued down, but we at least don't want it to be white if you look under it. So I've got these on a fresh new piece of tape, and so we're going to do just like we did before. We're going to do one coat of the sparks in the Raven Black, and then these will be done. So we'll take those off, and then I'll do 2 coats of the silver on this one following that. and then I will meet back up with you guys after that. So these here are drying completely, but they look really cute. Bring them up so you can see them. See, there we go. And then get the burners. So there's the burners, aren't those cute? So what we're going to do is we are going to take these pieces and we're going to glue them onto here. So we'll put each on its piece that it's going to go on. So these, you have two that are similar and one that's smaller. The smallest one goes on this piece here, and this is the piece that's going to be attaching from the top. So it doesn't have the parts that stick out like that do, but we're going to put it where it's still doing the equal on three sides towards the bottom. And that way we can do this, and then we're going to paint this, and then we can attach these and let these dry while we fiddle about with the rest of the stuff. So I'm going to use my PVA glue. All right. So on this, I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to center it as best I can, making sure it's got about the same amount at the top. And of course I got glue everywhere, but it does dry clear. Yay! Thank God for that. Oh, as I drop it, did I move it? No, I didn't move it. Okay, good. All right, so we'll do that for all these. Okay, there we go. So we'll sit these over to the side, let those completely dry. And now we can turn our attention to this. So we're going to do this in the silver. It's the same silver spoon that we used for the grates on here. And again, I'm going to be very, very, very careful along these two edges so I don't get a bunch of paint on them. So there is coat number one, and as you can see, it's not super even, right? So we'll have to do a second coat. And I did manage, of course, my hand slipped and I got a big blob of it there. So I just grabbed a Q-tip and got it off there the best I could. So I may end up having to touch up just a tiny bit, but not too much. Same with on the inside down here. So we're gonna let that dry completely there. Now we do have some other pieces, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint those while they're in the paper. Bring this over here. I'm gonna adjust the lighting a bit. Okay, so we have a few more pieces left in here. So these right here are going to be pieces that go hook the gas pipe on the side. And so I'm going to want those to be silver. We have the handles here to put together still, and then the knobs as well. She shows two different kinds of ways to do knobs. She's got one where you take the paper clip that's in here with this and you bend it and put it in a hot glue gun and get like a ball of hot glue on it, and that makes the knob. I don't have a hot glue gun because I can't stand them, so that's not an option for me. Luckily, she does give you another one, so there's these little teeny knobs here. So I think for my own sanity, I'm going to go ahead and paint these too, right? So these ones are going to be silver, so we can go ahead and do that. And then the handles I'm going to do black, I think. So we'll do one coat on here. This, I think, like the others, is going to take 2 coats. All right, so the handles, oops, let's pick that up so it doesn't stick, because of course these have spaces, you know, gaps, and the paint goes through that. So the handles and the knobs I want to do in the same Raven black, so we'll go ahead and do those. There we go. Okay, so we're going to let these dry here. I'm just going to brush this off. Saves me going to rinse it when I kind of don't need to right away, but we're going to go ahead and do the second coat of this because that's dried enough now that we can do that. Looks good, and the underside's good, so I'm not going to worry about doing that. Where'd my toothpick go? I do, however, want to make sure to put a toothpick in here after I paint these, just so I can make sure those holes are clear, because that's what the knobs are going to go in. All right, so there we go. All right, so I will probably touch up those couple little spots real quick off camera, and then we will glue in the burners, and we will glue on the doors, and that way those can be drying while we finish the knobs and the pipes, and that's all we got left. So it's coming out super cute so far though. Back in a minute. Okay, so I got it all touched up now, so there's no more big blobs of silver everywhere, and I was able to get kind of under here, so it doesn't the silver doesn't come down onto the rest of it. So this is good. We're gonna leave this here, and we'll be attaching these in just a minute. But first, what I wanted to do is, one of the items that you put on here is a pipe. So we'll go ahead and empty the rest of our accessory bag here. So this we're gonna be using when we make the knobs. Whoopsie. But these are what we're gonna make the pipe with. So what we're gonna do is, we're going to take the scissors and we are going to snip the ends off of them. Woo, hello. I'm surprised I didn't go right in this. This is water here. I'm really actually kind of shocked that it didn't, because usually that's my luck. Okay, so we got the end snipped off. So one of the pipes is going to be straight, but one of them is going to be bent. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put this in the water, and you only want to put it in there, she said, for about 15 or 20 seconds, because any longer than that and the paper is going to start coming unraveled. But you just want it wet enough where it's going to be able to bend without snapping. So give that a few more seconds, I think. And we're going to bend this into an L shape. So very carefully, I'll put that back in there for a second. Okay, there we go. So I've got it in an L shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit over here and dry completely because we're going to have to paint that. So it's going to take a minute to dry. So I'm going to dump this and I will be right back and we can get the doors glued on. Okay, so we have our doors here. Obviously the drawer we don't have to do anything with. So what we're going to do is we've got these where we pre-bent them at the 90-degree angle. And so we're going to test fit these and make sure that these fit in there good. And that they're going to hold with the magnet, which they do. Otherwise that would have fallen out. So that's really cool. All right, so we'll test these ones as well, just to be on the safe side. And even though, you know, there's a little bit of paint that got on there, the magnets are strong enough to adhere anyway. You can always kind of take your thumbnail and scrape the layers of paint down too. I tried to not get too much on them, just so they would still be able to function correctly. Okay, same with this one. Yep, snaps right into place. Heard that one. They're so cute. Okay, and that's not even the right one. Huh? Whoops. Idiot. Okay, let's try it with the right one. Looks even cuter. Obviously it's sticking up a bit just because that material is there on that. So I'm going to make sure this material is nice and pulled over flat so it's not adding anything, you know, it doesn't make it stick up or nothing. Although when we put these in, we're going to flatten them back out. Okay, so what you're going to do is the part that's going to glue down is going to be just this fabric layer. You do not want to get any of your glue on your door because then it could, you know, stick in the open position to the oven. So I think with these, should I use E6000 or should I use Fabri-Tac? Oh, decisions. I know she used PVA glue on hers. You know, I think I'm going to do Fabri-Tac just because it's fabric. And the paint that it's going on to, I want to make sure it's got a nice strong bond to it. So I'll put a little bit of Fabri-Tac on here. We're going to straighten this out so it's at flat. And putting the Fabri-Tac, and I'm being very careful to stay away from the edge of that door. Okay. So I'm going to put it in here, and you put it in here and you line it up and you press the bottom of the door flat. So like so. See, so it's meeting that right there. Bring it up so you can see it with my lighting. Okay, and then we're gonna drop it because that's the way it goes. And we're gonna hold this down and let it get nice and secure on there, and we're going to leave this open while it dries. We're going to wait to fiddle about with shutting it until after it's nice and dry. Okay, so I'm going to do the same to the rest of them. Got a little too much, so I don't want it to squeeze out onto the door. And same thing. I put it in here and center the door and then press this down. Probably what I should have done here. So before that dries, I just realized I didn't center it. So let's put some more on here. Speaking of more on, what? Seriously though. I'm just not responsible enough to do this. Okay. Try this again, and we're going to center the door this time. Duh. Okay, that looks better. Okay, and then same with this one. Straighten that back out. Fabri-Tac on here. Avoiding the actual door itself. A little more than that. That's not going to hold nothing. Okay. And then we'll put this here, we'll center the door and press down on it. Okay, looks like there'll be a little bit of glue stuff to kind of straighten up once it dries. I don't want to fiddle with it too much until it's dry. And now this one here attaches opposite because it's going to lift up. So that's why we had put that GG piece in there, because that's what this is going to glue onto. Because otherwise, if that piece wasn't there and it was just a top, it wouldn't be able to reach correctly. Let's get that little glue clump off of there. Off. All right. So this one, we can lay this down. And again, we're going to center our door. Have to come look over this way for that. Okay. And then press this in there. All right. That should be good. So we're just going to set this to the side. We're just going to let those dry. We don't want to fiddle with them at all until they're completely dry. We have plenty of other stuff to fiddle with, so it's okay. So we've got our pieces here that we've painted. We can go ahead and cut these out of here. So I'm going to cut the pieces that are going to go over the pipe. And I'm going to have those like set to the side, so that they'll be ready when we're ready for them. And so now we're going to do the handles. So I'm going to cut all the little handle pieces out, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, so these little teensy tiny pieces, and I'll bring them up so you can see them a little bit better. These are what are going to be the handles. So each handle, there's 5, has 2 long pieces and 4 little small short pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these 2 handles together, and then on each side we'll put one of the little short pieces, and we'll flip it over and do the same. So we're going to use just regular glue for that, and I'm definitely going to use the jewel picker for that, because yeah, just picking them up after I cut them out necessitated the jewel picker. So I will do those, and I put these on the piece of white cardstock so you can actually see them, because yeah, if I try to put these on the black craft mat, you're not going to be able to see that. So that wasn't too terribly painful. Wasn't the easiest thing in the world either because it's small and I don't do terribly good with little teeny small pieces, but here they are. So we're gonna let these dry completely, and then we're gonna end up bending these, and so the little ends that we had attached onto either side will be the part that'll glue flat down to the front of the doors. So we'll sit these up here. Now we can turn our attention to the last thing in our sheet, which are the knobs. And these knobs all attach in the same place at the top. So what I'm hoping is that I can cut these free and then poke them through and have them all facing the right direction. Now, is that going to happen? I highly doubt it, honestly, you know. It's not how things work for me, but I'm going to be an optimist about it. What I've done is there's going to be a total of 7, and we're going to have to glue them one on top of another. So I have switched them so 7 are face up. So I didn't have to turn it back around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them unpainted side to unpainted side, so that way both sides are good. Teeny parts. Alright, so now, this ought to be good. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking the paper clip and we are going to cut about 1/4 inch pieces off of those, and then we will be sticking it to the back of these in order to make the knobs that are going to go in here. So I'm actually going to mark that off, I think, on this, just in case, just to make it easier. What a 1/4 inch is, at least one of them, right? I think we all know my measuring is not stellar. The nice thing is they go in and get inserted in here, so we can make them all the same height, despite, you know, whatever it is I'm going to do with them. So I have my wire cutters, and I have my piece of wire. I'm going to put my finger on that piece of wire while I cut it. We'll see if this is going to be the right ones for this. Yeah, I think this wire is a little thick for that. Although, there we go. Once you get it kind of snipped, you can bend it back and forth and snap it the rest of the way. That may be how I do these. So now what we're going to do is we are going to attach these to the back of these. So bring these down a little bit farther here, a little closer so I can see them. Okay, so there's a little neat trick, and I learned this from watching Ava's channel, and it's fantastic because it does work. We're going to use 2 different types of glue. So we're going to use PVA glue. We're going to put a dot on the back of the dial here, and then we're going to use super glue, and then we're going to take this, we're going to dip the end of it in the super glue, and then we're going to put them together, because when you put those two together they form this like really strong crazy bond almost instantly. And so that way we won't have a bunch of, you know, leaning stems on our knobs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some out here on this little piece of paper. Hopefully it won't soak through too bad. Because I mean, you don't need much at all, obviously. And super glue gel does take a minute to dry, so that blob of it's not going to dry instantly anyway. So what we'll do is we will take this, we're going to put a dot of the PVA glue in the center like so. It's like a little eyeball. And we're going to take our stem and we're going to dip it in the super glue and then we're going to drop it on the paper like an idiot. Dear God. I should have known that that would do that. Alright, we're going to put back in the super glue because we botched that. And then we're going to put it right there on the center. Okay, so now we have our little knob. We will set this over here and let this dry upright. Damn it. Okay, fine. And we'll knock it off and we'll have to do it again because, you know, clumsy person. Okay, normally this works much better, but no, no, the friggin' knob's glued to my fingernail. Stop it! Christ. Okay, here. Need to make sure we do glue side up because I don't want to inadvertently glue it to the paper. I'll get this off of here. Okay. There we go. So, I'll chase this stupid thing over here. Over here. Okay. So we've got our glue. And then let's see if the tweezers work any better. The tweezers might work a little bit better. Okay, some super glue on that. And put that straight down in it. Okay, there we go. There's one, and I'm not touching that because y'all already got to see what it looked like. I know if I touch it, it's going to be bad. Okay, so the one that fell over, we're going to leave it over because last time when I tried to pick one up, that's when it came apart. So we're just going to let these dry completely so that they're nice and solid on there. And I will come back to you and then we will start putting the rest of it together. There's not much left to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint these silver as well while we wait for this stuff to dry. And then we'll get these attached on too. So see you guys back in a minute. All right, so I've let everything dry. I've got the Q-tip pieces that are going to be the gas pipes. Those are painted now. They're silver. And then with the handles, what I've done is, not sure if you can see that, I've kind of bent it so it's going to stick up a little bit, and then these other parts are going to glue down flat. So, and I've shut these and made sure that they line up where they're supposed to. And so what we're going to do, and then of course I put the drawer in and realized, you know, I probably should have put this up higher. Oh well, you know, I got most of them. So we are going to put the handles on the different little oven doors first. Then I think we'll put the knobs in here, and then we'll put the burners on. And we'll let that kind of sit there, and then we will fiddle about with the gas pipe because it's really all we've got left, and then this will be done. So just grab one of the handles, and I'm going to use just PVA glue, of course. Put a nice decent amount because I want that to be on there pretty strong. And we're just going to kind of eyeball the center, and we're going to miss. Jesus. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, make sure those are nice and flat. Wipe some of that glue away. But we're just going to have to deal with it. It's me putting it together, so it's a known issue for me to have glue all over everything. Really not a surprise. Okay, so now on this one at the top, since it opens upwards, we're going to put its handle right here. Make sure both of those pieces are down flat and it's roughly centered. Kind of hold these down for a second. That one was nice and flat. This one was trying to fight back and not be glued on. Really? You're going there, are you? Like, should I super glue these? Maybe I should super glue these. Okay, so we'll get this and we will wipe this off on the bottoms of these, and we're going to super glue these instead. That way they'll be on there nice and strong, and you know, I won't have to worry about them moving around all over the place like I'm doing with these. And of course it is the super glue gel, so I will have a second, because I think we all know I'm not going to center it correctly. It's just, that's not going to happen right off the bat. Okay. That one's good, I think. Yep, that's as centered as it's going to be, you know. The handles, which are very, very, very cute. Love those. And then speaking of handles, we have our knobs here. So those ones, we're going to put a little drop of glue in each of these holes. And this one we will just use the PVA glue. And then we will put our little knobs in there, and then we'll stand it upright and you know, make sure they're all roughly the same depth. They're sticking out. Actually, let's do it like that from the beginning. Here we go. And so I know it's probably next to impossible for you guys to see this, but I'm just making sure these are all same distance out from the front, roughly, so it doesn't look too weird. Okay, so there's those, and we're definitely going to not move this around too much and let that dry. And so now we can put our little burners on. So they're going to go on these four here. So they will glue right around the ring and on the little outer bits. So same thing, I'm going to use PVA glue, and I'm going to use a, you know, fairly decent amount. Just so if there's any unevenness, I don't have to worry about that. also put extra glue on, so when inevitably I do that and spaz and, you know, knock it out of place, there's still enough glue left in the regular spot to hold it on, because yeah. And I'm just going to take a quick peek, make sure they are centered, and they are. Are they all lined up? No. Should I line them up? I probably shouldn't fiddle with it, but you know I'm gonna. Right, so we're gonna let this kind of dry a little bit before we tackle this. I'm gonna have to turn it on its side in order to do the little pipe part. So I know if I do that right now, these will go falling right off of there. So, okay, be back with y'all in just a sec. Okay, so everything seems to be okay enough, obviously, so that I could put it down on its back. I'm gonna put it on its side, and so now we're gonna do the last part, which is the little gas pipe piece. So we're gonna have two pieces of it, obviously. We're gonna have this piece that comes up and over, and then this other one here. So we are going to take that next to that, and we're going to get a pen, and we're going to kind of mark a little spot there where we're going to cut this one down. So I think I'm just going to use my scissors on it because it's going to be covered up. And then where I was holding on to this, we can go ahead and cut this as well. And get my pipe back to round. Oopsie. Okay. And I will grab my paint, since I've got now a little, you know, the white end here. So we're just gonna let Q-tip go. I'll just take the Q-tip. It has all kinds of crap on it that we don't want in the paint. There we are. And we'll just do the end of it. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So on this one, she does recommend using super glue on this side, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So we will put the little pipe. I'm going to have it be kind of a little bit forward. So I've got this here just as a reference for how long I need the little bead of super glue to be. All right, and we'll just kind of roll that over into it, which is good. Looks nice and straight. And we've got our other piece that's going to come this way here. So you know what, we'll go ahead and put the super glue on it as well. Let's make sure this is, there we go, that's a little better. I'm going to do a little line of the super glue here for this, and then set it there. We want it so that the pipe is going to go up underneath the stove. There's my lid, come here. All right, so there is that. We'll just let that sit there for a minute, and then we'll tack that at the end of it. So now we've got our two last little paper pieces that I painted silver. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this on top of here, and then you're going to press down with your fingernails so that it makes kind of like a clamp sort of deal. Okay, so we got one, and we'll do that with this one as well if I can pick it up. Just debatable at the moment. Okay, so we've got that formed around there. So now we'll take the PVA glue for this one, and we're going to put it on the back of this, and I'm going to do the whole thing so it'll stick to the pipe as well. And then the first one we're going to place up here at the top, and so this kind of disguises the fact that there's no actual, you know, joint sort of a thing for it to be coming out of. We'll hold that down till it takes. Not sure what that piece of something is, so I gotta pull that out. I think it's glue. Just glue everywhere. So much glue. Okay. Got that. Alright, and then this one here, I'm going to do the same thing. Get the glue all over here. It's a fine line between too much glue and not enough glue, you know, and I cross that line every time I do this. And then actually this one seems to be a little bit longer, so we'll do that. And then we're going to put this over that joint between these two. And since I'm nothing if not consistently inconsistent, you know, these aren't perfectly straight, but I've got the one that has the larger bit to the back on both. So they look more or less even. Okay, we'll let those set up real good for a few minutes. And then I will tack the pipe part to the underside as well so that it stays. And then I will join you back with the finished piece. So see y'all in a minute. Right, so I have secured the bottom piece as well so that it doesn't end up sagging down or looking weird. But here it is. So I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see. And then if you open up here, I went ahead and put the little rack in there. And I put the little rack in here as well. And I did have to kind of scrape some of the paint because the Finnabair paints are very thick. And so I went ahead and scraped the paint away from that little nail and this little magnet because it was having trouble staying shut. So hopefully that should do it. I'm sure that one's user error also from my putting the hinge down and all that. So is what it is there. But I absolutely love this. I think this is so cute. And I'm going to have to put some glue in here because that sucker's not staying. Do that real quick. There we go. Pushed in about there. Okay. I had a feeling that these were going to do that, so I'll probably go through and hit them from the outside with a little bit of glue just to kind of give them a collar, basically, to hold them on. But yeah, so that's our little oven, and the little doors work, and they are absolutely adorable. And the kit was just so easy to put together because everything fit. You have no idea how many times I put stuff together where it doesn't fit, and you have to, especially like when you do the room kits, like the Chinese dollhouse kits where they're, I think, 48 scale usually. Yeah, those never fit. I mean, ever. Something's always off with them. So this went together like a dream. There is one downside, however, because there's two other kits, right? So there's one that makes an ice box and one that makes a cabinet, like a hutch type thing. And yeah, I may need those now. Damn. So I was thinking, oh, I can just do the little stove and it'll be cute and I can stop. And apparently I don't think I can stop. So yeah, I'll probably end up getting those. But yeah, so super fun. I'll put a link to her website below where you can get the kit. And considering how much these kits normally go for things, I've seen kits to make miniature furniture that cost damn near as much as the piece of furniture, which is insane to me. But this was extremely reasonable, and the shipping was very reasonable, and plus it helps her to continue doing what she does, which is great because then I can continue playing with the stuff that she designs. So that's a win-win there. So anyways, I will be back. I think the next project, kind of torn because I have the poor little swords I've been wanting to do forever. I swear I'm going to get around to those. And then I do still want to try to make that secretary desk out of wood, but I also now want to make cookware for this. And I was thinking it might be cute to have, like, on this back row here, maybe have a little utensil, kind of a bar. I have some in my kitchen, and it's a bar and it holds, I have the metal utensils that have the hooks, and they hook on there so you can get to them. But I don't know how to make utensils, so I mean that could be a fun experience. Definitely be entertaining. So yeah, we'll do that, and then maybe I will finally be brave enough to do some fake food with polymer clay or air dry clay or something, because I really need to do some, not only for this because I want to have little food in there cooking, but also for my dining room for the Mad Scientist Mansion, because this is going to go in the new house, because I actually am going to do a kitchen in that one. So yeah, so it'll be something fun. But anyways, thanks for joining me for this. Hopefully it's not going to be too long. I haven't edited it together, but there's, you know, so many stops and starts to it that there's a ton to edit. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be 2. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how much I can remove, because you don't need to see like every single time I cut stuff out. You get it after the first one kind of thing. So we'll see what I can hack and slash through and maybe get this down into one. And then I'll be doing a journal video right after this as well, working on the Ireland journal. So hope you all enjoyed it, and go visit Ara over at Bentley House Minis and get one of these, because I'm telling you, it was a blast. I really enjoyed it, and it came out so cute. I'm very happy with it. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, Mirias Chif. Bye.